Can you please do an Ask Lindsey video on Monday? What does sexually active mean? Well, the basic idea is this. Have you had any sexual contact? Usually within the 3 months. If you're not sure what the person asking is asking, then ask them. Who do you have sex with? Myself and others. How is Sexplanations different from Sex Plus? This is my show. Is there something people do in their sex lives that they think is good but you think is dysfunctional? Sometimes their dysfunctions serve us. I would like to see more people get help and less people suffer. How do I get my sex drive back? Have sex. How can I learn about sexuality without experimenting? Same way you learn about nutrition. Reading, watching, asking questions, talking it over. Can you explain asexuality? A as a prefix means without or the absence of, and in this situation, it's the absence of sexual attraction. A person might call themselves an ace or aces, and if they experience a crush that is platonic, it's called a squish. Demi, omni, gray A, pan, all the other sexual orientations out there, I'd like to give to another episode. There. Does anyone else think speculums look like a duck? Yes. Eve Ensler. What can I do if I'm allergic to latex? There are lots of non-latex options out there. These are polyisoprene, some of my favorite. How do I get started masturbating? Ask your body how it wants to be sexed. What is the how-to on vaginal hygiene? Clean hands, warm water, wash on the outside, not on the inside. The vulva is what needs rinsing, not the vagina. The vagina is self-cleansing, like the eyes. What is the difference between an STI and an STD? STI stands for sexually transmitted infection. STD stands for sexually transmitted disease. In the medical field, they don't refer to an infection as a disease unless there are symptoms. So educators and the like are moving towards STIs so that we can prevent infections and not just symptoms. Do I have to do anything differently with a condom if I have a foreskin? Hey, Danielle on Scotophobic does a great episode on this, right there. How can we know we're being safe and doing it right? Did you follow the steps? If you did, you're doing the best you can. What do you masturbate to? My sexy self. What should I know about choosing a dildo? What it is made of? Can you talk about periods? About this much blood creates an endometrium inside the uterus, which is kind of like a bloody mattress that the egg-sperm combination called a blastocyst embeds itself into the walls or the uterine lining. If the body gets word that it's not actually pregnant, then the blood starts to contract and slough off, coming out of the body called menstruation or a period. What are the pros and cons of the birth control pill? Some pros. It's 98% effective at preventing pregnancy. Regulates hormones. And it can decrease acne, cramps, headaches, mood swings, heavy menstruation. It's also reversible and works great with other forms of birth control. Some cons. It does not work well with antibiotics or nicotine. It's easy to forget. You have to take it by pill. It's only available by prescription, and it doesn't prevent sexually transmitted infections. Where do I go to talk about my asexuality? AVEN, the Asexuality Visibility and Education Network, and you can find them at asexuality.org. Does me liking girl porn mean I like girls? Nope, sure doesn't. Can though. What's the best way to clean out sebum before it turns into smegma? Warm water. Can you eat smegma unless you're vegan? How come when I finger myself it feels completely different than when my partner fingers me? The forward model. Can you get pregnant from a hand job or a blow job? Pregnancy is the result of a sperm, usually protected by other contents of semen, meeting an egg or ovum. The blow jobs and hand jobs I'm familiar with do not involve the transportation of sperm to the vagina, vulva, or petri dish. Can you lose your virginity to a speculum? No. What is BDSM? It's an initialism that stands for bondage, discipline, dominance, submission, sadism, and masochism. It's 4 letters, 6 words. What do you think about sapiosexuality? As an attraction to smarts? Squish. Can you think of ways to help somebody who's struggling with their sexuality? I try to laugh more and include cool people in my investigations. There's a lot to learn about sexuality. It'll go on and on and on. Yeah? You'll have the same me Wednesday with more answers.